time. But we are going to move on, and the next segment is the best finishing move.
It's gonna be hard
of all time.
It's gonna be hard.
Listen,
it's gonna be hard
because I know certain men are going to be trying to put in finishing moves just because they like them finishing moves.
It's gonna be hard,
not just because they were the best finishing moves of all time. But we're gonna start off with Mr. KA, best finishing move of all time. Now think carefully. I think you got your notes on this, but tell me.
See, this is it. Like you said, you can go the route of like the move that you like and your favorite wrestler like gassed you up when it happened. Because it could have been the deadest move, like we said. Literally, it could be one little chop, but because it's your wrestler and like it's electrifying or whatever, I can list of honorable mentions, but I don't want to say all you guys' moves. But so I don't know.
Yeah. We'll do the mentions after if they don't get said.
It's so hard. I'm like, which one do I choose? I think I have to go for my favorite wrestler. Like, I have to go with the pedigree, man.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Because that's not the most obvious one. I could name the obvious one, but I think someone's going to mention it, so I don't want to say that. So I'm going to go with one that I'm not sure if it'll get mentioned. It's a good move.
One, bro.
Sorry?
What, Stunner?
No, that's dead.
Stone Cold Stunner?
What, Tombstone?
Stunner's not dead, bro.
What? Stone Cold Stunner?
So dead.
Nah.
Oh, okay. All right, then.
Such a dead finishing move.
The truth has had his hands in his head in his hands, bro.
There's three bait ones, yeah.
No, wait, let K finish. Let Mr. K finish. Let Mr. K finish.
No, well, that's it, really. I was gonna say
pedigree.
The pedigree has to be it, man. Where and it was that move. Obviously, he gets you down, kicks you, and he just like picks up your arms one, and then he just like the slam down.
It's a nice move. I wouldn't call it the best, but it's a nice move too.
I think Triple H was my guy. That's why.
Fair enough.
There's nothing wrong with the pedigree. The pedigree can be in there. But Truth, your favorite move of all time.
Now let's see the three quickly.
Now Tooth. Tooth.
Yeah, the three. No, basically, I was just gonna say there's three bait ones, isn't it? There's the pedigree, the stunner, and tombstone. Like that's the three that like basically once people
not my
hit them.
Moves, but
no, but those were the three. Once they were hit, like people will go fucking mad. You rarely kicked out of them. Do you know what I mean? Like those were the three ones.
Kicked out of a lot of pedigrees, bruv.
Huh?
Shawn Michaels kicked out of a lot of pedigrees.
Yeah, but I mean everyone.
Not the original pedigree. No one kicked out the original pedigree when he actually slammed your face on the floor. I don't think I remember seeing anyone kick out the original pedigree.
I think one of the Road Warriors did. One of the Road Warriors like literally just got up.
Was that the early match? Is that when the first because I know he faced Ultimate. Oh no, he faced Ultimate thingy. Ultimate Warrior, not Ultimate Warrior.
This is when Triple H used to walk out like fucking Napoleon. You remember that?
Yeah, I know you're talking about
when he was Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Yeah,
and it was his early days, and he hit that pedigree. The one where he's a little bit more diagonal.
Yeah.
When the dude drops a little bit more diagonally.
Yeah. And he landed on his head. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and then fucking Road Warrior just got up immediately. Just literally one of the Legion of Doom dudes just literally got up one time. So that definitely happened. I do remember that. But basically, in general, those were the three that once they were hit, everyone went mad. You expected it to be a finish.
Mm.
So what's your favorite?
What's your one? What's your one?
What's your favorite?
Ooh, it's tough.
It's a hard
one. But I definitely, off the cuff, again, everything I'm saying is off the cuff. Pedigree's up there. But bro, for me personally, Jackhammer Goldberg, bro. Can't fuck with that, bro. Barely anyone kicked out of that shit, bro. And he held man in the air for like a good 10 seconds to let man know, bro, you're getting shagged right now. Not only can I drop you right now, but I'm just going to hold you in midair for a good 10 seconds, black.
Nah.
Let the crowd get that. And then, bro, the way he is mad one. It's a mad
I did love it. Because I grew up as a WCW fan, and I was a huge Goldberg fan. The Jack Hammer.
Yeah, Jack Hammer was good. Jack Hammer was good, man. Jackhammer
We
was a
used
good
that shit
finishing
in
move.
WWF as well, bruv. But still, man, like the way he hit that jackhammer, bruv, finger beauty, bruv.
You know the only problem with the jackhammer though is that you couldn't do it in school.
Yeah, bruv. And the thing is, hey, think about this, yeah. And I know a lot of moves haven't been used or imitated, but bruv, when you think about it, a lot of people can pull off a tombstone. A lot of people can pull off a stunner or a pedigree. Who the fuck can pull it? Like, it takes a certain amount of like confidence, but also ability to pull off a fucking jackhammer without botching the move. Because that shit is a dangerous move. Do you know what I mean? So again, in terms of
Tombstone's a dangerous move.
Huh?
Tombstone's a dangerous move.
No, it is, but I'm saying a lot of wrestlers can pull off a tombstone confidently. Like, if you get them to pull off it's just a fucking pile driver, basically.
No, but like a jackhammer is basically a suplex.
It's not though. It's a vertical suplex that he fucking flips the dude round.
It's not a suplex. It's a vertical suplex.
It's a vertical suplex, and he delays it, and then he just drops you differently.
Yeah, but bro, he done that to everyone perfectly. He might have botched it 1 or 2 times.
What I say, the jackhammer looked impressive when he done it on big people, like when he done it a big show in WCW.
And I ain't talking
Scott Steiner as well.
Yeah,
bro. And I'm not talking about just average dudes. And you have to remember, Goldberg was facing he was facing the Kevin Nashes, the Scott Halls, the fucking Scott Steiners, the Hogans. He was fucking wrestling heavyweights, bro. And he was pulling off that move.
He was a big dude himself, but he was a big guy. He wasn't small. He was a big guy himself.
But bro, it's a sight to see when you fucking pull off a jackhammer on someone like Brock Lesnar.
No, I have to agree with that. When you're doing it on man bigger than you and way heavier than you, then it's a sight to see. And bringing out a jackhammer, I don't think many people would have said that. So I like that one from left field. It's not the most obvious one. That's a good one. I like that one still. Rash, for you, obviously I do believe that you've got something different. Best finishing move of all time.
Just because of the sheer fact that I can only remember one person that's kicked, actually 2 people that have kicked out of the Tombstone Power Driver, and that's it. And that was Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25, I think, when it's the first time he kicked, and anyone has kicked out of the Tombstone in a very, very long time. And the fact is, when Undertaker transitioned to like the dead man role, he started using the last ride as his finishing move. And then when people still kicked out of
American Badass.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Wasn't the last riders from American Badass?
Yeah. That's what I meant. And then so people would still kick out that, they kick out the choke slam. But you know, when he would do the whole throat cut thing, you know it's it, bruv. It's all over. You ain't getting out of this shit.
Who was the second dude that kicked out of it?
Oh, X-Pac.
Kane kicked out the Tombstone actually.
Bro, Hulk Hogan kicked out.
Oh, yeah. No.
In their first WrestleMania match.
WrestleMania. Yeah,
he kicked out the Tombstone twice.
I remember X-Pac kicking out of it once.
Four. Hulk Hogan kicked out of that shit as well. Hogan kicked out of that shit. One of the early WrestleManias, and then
the first one where Undertaker faced Hogan for the title.
Yeah, bro. And then they had to throw in a chair, and then
he done the Tombstone on the chair. Okay,
bro. So Hogan, my boy, the GOAT, Hogan.
That's 4 people.
Yeah, bro. But quite a few people have kicked out of that though.
Only 4.
I hear you. But that's what I said earlier, bro. There's 3 bait ones, isn't there? Stunner, Pedigree, and Tombstone that got everyone out of their fucking seats. And you knew, like,
I'm just saying, just for the sheer factor of finishing move, right? Because if you're looking at how the finishing maneuver is done, he's dropping man straight on his head. Like, you do that shit in real life, it's game over. You're killing people. Do you know what I mean?
So Pedigree.
That's why. Remember, so the early Tombstone was an actual power driver where he dropped you on like your neck, so you have to be safe with it. The later ones, obviously, in terms of being safe, you couldn't risk power drivers no more. So they made sure that obviously you weren't getting dropped on your head exactly. But I know you mean early Tombstones were.
Yeah, I think the ban on the the power driver came.
Yeah.
Remember when what was that faction?
Owen Hart fucking broke Stone Cold's neck doing that.
It wasn't even that one, you know. It was when
that
it happened to China. They
The
power
Spike
drive
power
China.
driver.
Yeah, the Spike power driver on
Spike
China.
power driver.
I think that's when
Yeah.
they banned it completely. They were like, nah.
Yeah.
But nah,
Yeah,
Tombstone power driver is a good shout as well. Obviously, Tooth said it was one of the bait ones,
The
but
New Age Outlaws used to do it.
we can't deny the Tombstone power driver.
They used to do the Spike power driver.
Truth, you've heard couple from the man them. What for you is the greatest finishing move of all time?
Look, I am shocked here because first of all, this isn't even my favorite finisher. But in terms of pure, in terms of pure hype, I don't care what
he's gonna say it. He's gonna say it.
In terms of what anybody says, it's not even my favorite finisher. But you are telling me, when Stone Cold hit that stunner.
Okay.
When Stone Cold hit that stunner.
I thought you were gonna say the other
one.
one.
Me it wasn't. Everything fits. The stunner was the perfect. In terms of finisher, the stunner was the perfect move. It ended everything. It started everything. His theme music hitting afterwards went so in sync with it.
Actually, I agree.
He can hit it from anywhere. I'm talking about like reversals. It's not my favorite finisher. Don't get me wrong. It's not my favorite finisher. One of my favorite finishers. I'd even put the Shawn Michaels super kick above that because I love the super kick. But the Stone Cold Stunner for me, in terms of pure hype, hitting out of anywhere, his theme music going with it so beautiful. Man went up to William Regal, William Regal was telling a story in the middle of the ring.
Don't mention William Regal.
No, I'm not saying his move. I'm saying he went to the middle of the ring, stunned him, walked out. Music never stopped. Everything just fits so perfectly with the stunner. So I think it's hard for anyone to say in terms of best finishing move without the stunner being mentioned as number one. That would have been
my number one. But I thought you were gonna say the rock bottom, mate, or the people's elbow. That's why I was ready to say that.
No.
Bro, I thought he was gonna say RKO when he said you can hit it out of anywhere. The first thing, bro, you can't fuck with the RKO either, bro, because
There's
again.
So many mentions.
But RKO is just a modified diamond cutter. So that's why I don't play that out.
Yeah,
and again, when it comes to the stunner, tell me there's nothing more hype than JR saying stunner. Come on, man. It has to be the best.
Stone Cold.
Exactly. JR never said anything. You can't say pedigree like that. You can't say tombstone like that. It only worked with the stunner. So.
And you know what, as well, it was the way people reacted to getting stunned as well.
Exactly.
Like he used to do triple flips, bro. Like, getting stunned, bro. And like other people would just like, there's so many different like ways your body would go if you get stunned, bro. Like when Stephanie McMahon got stunned, that was legendary.
The only issue that I have, and I have to reiterate this, bro. The only issue, and I love all three finishes. As I said, I give credit where credit's due. Those three finishers got everyone's asses out of their seats.
Yeah.
That, like 9 out of 10 times you pin them, it finished. There'd be a whole fucking ceremonial ovation. But in terms of pulling them off, a lot of wrestlers can pull those moves off. For me, where the defining line between the jackhammer and those three is that not a lot of people can pull off the jackhammer. Consistent.
I agree, but I don't put just so much credit into that. I'm putting it more into what the move meant as a whole. The stunner was just such a hype move for us.
As TJ said at the beginning, this is a WWE talk. But if you were WCW head back then, you knew, bruv. You knew as soon as the jackhammer was hit, that's it. It's a wrap. Game over, bruv. Play that fucking cinematic Goldberg music, bruv. Do you know what I mean? But no, for real, I agree with all three of you. Tombstone, Pedigree, and Stunner. Because I said it, I called it before anyone else. I said there's 3 bait ones. Do you know what I mean? There's 3 bait ones, and those 3, I can't disagree. I'm just saying, like, yeah, for me personally, my taste, it will go for
TJ.
Jackhammer.
It's up to tiebreak.
Again, it's a decider, bro.
Well, listen, all 4 have a right to claim to be the greatest finishers of all time.
Proper.
I've heard everyone's argument.
I know what TJ's gonna say. TJ's gonna say Santino Marella. I know TJ. Don't come with that, man.
Man's gonna come
I'm
out with
ending
a
it right there. You're
leg
not doing
drop.
no
Man's gonna
support.
come out with a leg drop.
No,
Oh my God.
Don't you dare diss the leg drop, bro. Hogan's leg drop was the one, bro. I grew up on that shit.
That is leg drop.
I don't care how dead it was, bro. I don't give a fuck how dead it was.
That is the people's elbow, man.
I don't care, bro. That was the shit, bro. That got you hyped, bro. Imagine having a move.
I'm not gonna lie here. Some people used to sell the leg drop sick. Like they lift up their whole body, like their legs would be up in the air.
Bruv, imagine having a move so dead and you're the GOAT, bro. Imagine that, bro. Your finishing move is dead, bro. But still, people knew once you hit that shit, that was it. It's a wrap, bro. But yeah, go on, TJ. Go on, TJ.
Right. A lot of deliberation, and listen, I can't disagree with any of the finishing moves being brought up. I mean, you got the pedigree, you got the stunner, you got the jackhammer, you got the tombstone power driver. Had everyone's arguments, but I've got to be true to what I wrote before I came on.
Yeah.
And for me, the greatest finishing move has been mentioned, and I'm gonna have to side with Rash on this one. With the tombstone power driver. For me, it was the greatest finishing move of all time. One of the most iconic, and the fact that so many WrestleManias that Undertaker went undefeated for, that he finished them with the tombstone power driver. And
it was just a perfect finishing move.
Yeah, and then obviously the Undertaker puts the arms across, and then the eyeballs go in the back of the head. Like it was, it was.
The thing is with Tooth saying about the jackhammer, I get it. Yeah, but he doesn't need the jackhammer. He's already mashed them up as much as there is. He can just pin them.
Yeah, it's true, bro. His other finisher was
spear.
The spear.
The spear. The man would just spear man, and they'd be out. He doesn't need the jackhammer.
With the jackhammer, I thought the spear was more devastating than the jackhammer.
Yeah,
Goldberg's spear was disgusting.
The velocity that he would run into you, and like,
trying to make, bro. You remember they were building up Goldberg to be this like Khabib kind of dude, like 180 and 0 kind of dude. He was fucking man.
180 and 0.
Bro, but trust me, no, for real.
I thought he was 179 when he lost his first match.
Yeah.
And then check this. He was, as far as I remember, he was the first one to use the spear. Look at the lineage of the spear now. People are using that as their Edge uses it as his finisher. Roman Reigns using it.
Remember Rhino with the gore.
Oh, Rhino.
The gore.
ECW legend, bro.
The gore was next. It was so shit.
My man went overkill. And he was like, not only am I going to spear you, bro, I'm going to fucking jackhammer you as well. Bro, that's what I loved about it. But again, I'm not disagreeing. Again, with all the other subjects we touched upon with Dudley Boys and The Rock and Stone Cold. Same with this one. Like I
think with this one, though, is the only one, because as much as I love the tombstone, it was a longer setup than something as simple like the super kick or the stunner.
But it has to be. It's the finishing move.
Can I just make
the finishing move?
And it's a tombstone. It's not like your everyday move, like a suplex.
Like, look how long the Sweet Chin music took. He takes about 20 seconds to load up the Sweet Chin music.
No. That's only sometimes when he's tuning up the band.
But you love that move. You love that move. What's the difference?
I love the tombstone as well, but I'm talking in terms of being called the best. Hey, I can't put the tombstone as number one. But if you guys say that, I'm gonna have to
it's difference of opinion, isn't it?
Yeah.
Before we move on, can I just quickly...
Tooth, hold on. Tooth's been shouting for ages. Tooth,
go on, Tooth.
I've been trying to get over this fucking these two bickering on. Listen, honourable mention, because none of us gave a shout out to like top rope finishers, and there's a few.
I was going to mention a few just now.
Trust me, hey, Coach, you already... bro. Mr. Africa, you know, bro.
And every video, you have to get it in some way, somehow.
Trust me, one time. Hey, listen, Macho Man's elbow drop, heavyweight. Do you know what I mean? Jeff Hardy, Swanton Bomb, heavyweight.
Yeah.
But for me personally, the best top rope finisher, Rob Van Dam and Eddie Guerrero, bro.
Oh, 5-star first round, yeah.
That used to be my move. When she bounce up and down, just like
respect. Hey, you already know,
to
bro.
do that,
You already
man.
know. Say no more. Say no more.
Yeah, Rob Van Dam's 5-star Flood Splash was iconic just as much as
bro?
Yeah, Rob Van Dam. Nah,
and
it
then
was
Eddie Guerrero doing the fucking TJ.
Latino heat, bro.
Mr. Sexy himself. But
I'm
can I
telling
quickly
you.
mention as well?
Yeah, go on.
2 moves, yeah, that it wasn't really the greatest moves, but it was just the most. You get gassed when you see it, yeah. Rikishi's stink face, bro. That move was dead.
Nobody got gas for the stink face.
Can you imagine a guy like Rikishi sweaty?
I know.
Put his bar in your face, bro.
I've heard horror stories about people that got the stink face from Rikishi, fam. They said horror
TJ,
stories.
put in that Westbrook meme right now, bro.
When you face that.
What are you talking about, bro? Hell no,
Man
bro.
said the stinky face, bro.
I mentioned the worm. That move gets me up.
Yeah, brother move.
But another move is there that no one really makes because he ain't really a big mister, but like the clothesline from hell.
The clothesline from hell, yeah, that was good. That was good.
I love that move.
Yeah, the clothesline
the
from
Sweet Chin
hell.
music's been mentioned. What about Mankind's Mandible Claw with Mr.
Mandible
Socko?
Claw.
Hey, what about?
No.
Oh,
next topic.
Don't even bring that guy into this.
Go away.
Next topic.
Next
topic. Nah, before we start talking about the one of you.
Go away.
What was it called? What was that finisher called?
What, the 5-knuckle shuffle?
No, not that one. His actual
The FU.
The FU.
Or the attitude adjustment or whatever they changed it to.
Trust me.
Even that was a little bit like the jackhammer, you know? The FU.
No, it was more like Kurt Angle's finisher, the Olympic Slam. Do you know?
You didn't mention Olympic Slam. Olympic Slam was a sick move as well.
Olympic Slam was a good move.
Hey,
And also quickly, no one really mentioned submission moves as like Chief said with the crippler crossface, ankle lock,
Preach.
Walls of Jericho. There was a few submission
Wouldn't that be another section?
Yeah, let's
wait. Well, unfortunately, as I said, I am clock watching.
Yeah.
So mention your submission.
Let's move on then. Let's move on.
Mention the submissions. Unfortunately, we can't get to that.
Yeah.
Well, we run out of time.
Everyone just shout out the best submissions. No explanation.
All right,
Crippler.
Go on. Crippler crossface for me.
Crippler crossface.
That's the best one.
Unanimous.
You know what I said, bro? Hey, TJ, you know why I said that? Because I knew everyone was going to say crossface.
The ankle lock was up there as well.
Oh yeah, the ankle lock.
Not as much as Crippler.
Ken Shamrock and the ankle lock.
Yeah, Ken Shamrock.
Yeah, but Crippler crossface.
If you do the crippler crossface in real life, that'll break your nose, bro.
I actually done it on someone back in school. I'm telling you, it was painful. Like I felt sorry after I did it.
You get that lock in, yeah. And you're
oh man, nah, it's not something to do even in school. I'm telling you.
Listen. Do you remember when Perry Saturn did the Rings of Saturn?
Hey, that was a hard move, you know. That was painful because both your arms like stretched behind you.
Yeah, that's a mad one.
That's mad. But crippler crossface is the unanimous submission of all time.
Standard.
That's the most unanimous decision we've had this whole fucking.
Yeah, it's true.